Gizzelle Uys. I'm an intern for Miss South Africa 2022, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Good afternoon, I think it is for South Africa. Good evening for Australia, and good morning for other parts of the country. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project with you. And my special guest for tonight's proceedings is Gizzelle Uys. Gizzelle, how are you?
I am very well. It's been quite a ride since the last time we've chatted, but I'm good. It is above water, and yeah, that's me. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but as you can see here, you are number 183. So I've done a fair few of them. Do you remember
Wow.
back to the very first time that we interviewed? I think it was back in, it must have been almost 2 years ago.
It was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020. That's quite a while back.
Do you remember what you were like back then, or how life for you has changed? I mean, I think for everyone, the last 2020 and 2021 has been pretty big.
It's been life-changing, I must say. And I think that's why it feels like 5 years, but also 2 months in the same time. It's difficult to word. But with the whole COVID thing, you either feel like 50 years have passed or 2 months.
COVID? What's COVID? There's no such thing as COVID. For those people watching, whether it's live on the replay, who don't know you or who aren't familiar with your pageant story, do you want to give them a brief overview as to how you got into the crazy world of pageantry and how it's led you to the place you're in now, entering Miss SA?
So I entered the pageant industry at a very young age. I was very blessed to have a mom that was in the industry. She was a coach for many, many years. And it started off with bonding between me and her. I would go to classes and I just fell in love with everything that the pageant meant and see how women empower each other and their communities. And I wanted to get involved. I did, but unfortunately, I did have to take a very, very long break. And I stopped at the age of 5 at Runabout, and I re-entered the pageant world back in 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think it's around about 2018. And from there, it's just been a whirlwind, and I've competed in many pageants. I do have an international title under my belt as well, if I said that phrase correctly.
Yes.
I'm always so skeptic about the phrases, and that's been me. And I've prepared for this moment, for entering Miss South Africa all these years, and I'm ready. I feel that I have the experience and the knowledge now to handle a year of reign of Miss South Africa with the utmost sensitivity.
I want to just ask you about that. Before we do, guys watching, if you haven't watched one of my interviews below, we are live for a reason. That's so we can interact with you. So unlike some other shows, if you comment, I might bring your comment on board so that Gizzelle can read them. So how do you pronounce, is it Divan? I don't want to get it wrong.
In Afrikaans, it's Divan. You was always
Divan.
right.
So I was wrong, basically. Divan has given you 3 fires. Mia has given you 6 hearts. So proud of Gizzelle Mandy Uys. And Divan, has said so proud. So, guys, if you have any questions for our lovely queen, put them in the comments below. As she mentioned, she has already had an international title under her belt. So make the questions really, really difficult, because that's what she wants. really difficult and really political. No, just be nice. All right.
I will handle it with poise.
Of course. Now, you mentioned that you are ready for Miss South Africa. So before we get to that, when you started, let's say when you restarted the journey, I think you started pageantry when you were 3 and you said you stopped at 5. When you came back in 2018, was it always in your mind that, okay, I'm on a path now that's going to eventually take me to Miss South Africa? Or was it more, it sort of evolved as you went along?
I I think it depends on the girl, because it can go either way. You either work towards it, or it just comes into, your heart. Your heart tells you you're ready. It it's difficult to put into words my journey. It it's a bit of both. I've always knew this is what I'm working towards, but it also, there's a specific moment in time where I remember, oh wow, this came into my heart now. I'm ready. We need to work towards it. So it was a little bit of both. In 2018, I did know maybe this is the end goal someday. I just didn't know exactly the timeline or when. And there's a specific time. Oh, my tongue got tangled there.
Are you
Uh,
able to share with us when that exact moment was that you realized, okay, now is the time?
it was sometime. It was sometime right after a very strict lockdown here in South Africa with the whole COVID period, that
Mm.
I just knew this is what I have to work towards. It was put into my heart at a specific moment. It was very difficult to explain how that happened, but I looked at the entries for, I think it was last year, and I just knew, okay, this is in my path, but not yet, not yet. And then this
Mm.
year, when they announced entries were open, it was just a feeling. It was just now is the time.
Sounds good. All right. So Mia has first question. Congratulations, Mia. You win a prize. I don't know what it is. Gizzelle will send it to you.
So different.
Mia has asked, what are you most excited for in this journey?
Oh, I think as a pageant girl, what I've seen is the during the time that you reach out to your community. Well, I've always, whether it's with a crown or without, I always reach out to my community. It's the people that I meet along the way.
Mm.
That's what I'm excited for. Every single journey is different, and you learn so much in every single journey. But wow, the people, you network, and these people stay in your heart for the longest time, and they're the most amazing people, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
She has then also asked me, it's full of questions,
Yeah.
if you win and you would have a choice. Oh, here's a good one, and here's one that probably everyone wants to know, and you've given some consideration to, because Miss South Africa, for those who don't know, if you win Miss South Africa, well, the top 3, there are 3 pageants up for grabs, and they're all very big ones. Obviously, Universe, the biggest one in the world. Then there is World, and then there's Supranational. So Mia has asked, if you win and you had a choice, where would you rather want to go? I have to say, if you don't have a preference and you would be honored to go to all 3, that's totally okay as well. But do you have a
Mhm.
particular preference for any of those 3?
I don't have a particular preference. I would be honored and blessed to represent our Rainbow Nation at either 3. All 3 has an amazing platform, and I resonate with all 3. And that Miss South Africa is a job. It's a job
Mm.
opportunity that you're not auditioning for, but that you're applying to. And I know you work with an amazing team throughout your year, and that team will send you to where they feel your your platform would most align to.
Mm.
Is that, say that correctly? You have to align with the platform. So I don't have a specific preference, and I'm looking forward to, should I win, to see where the team sees me.
I think it's I think an interesting case in point is Natasha, who obviously was Miss SA 2 years ago. I don't even remember. And correct me if I'm wrong,
Amazing.
but she came third, but they decided to send her to Universe. And I think when everyone
Mhm.
saw her, if you guys haven't seen Natasha's performance on stage at Universe, both the swimsuit round and the gown, she was in that, remember that blue gown with the
Oh,
glove and the high
amazing.
slit?
Oh,
I
it's
I
just a
still can't
vision.
quite understand how she didn't get through. That was a massive surprise. But I think that was a good case in point. She came third,
Mhm.
yet she was sent to Miss Universe, which some people would say, well, shouldn't the third, be sent somewhere else? But she completely fit that role and she really owned the
Yeah,
stage.
of course. She is just a vision. Of course. No, yeah. No wonder everybody that just sees her falls in love. No question about it.
Yeah, those images will be forever emblazoned in my mind. Now, Ashley, Devon, I will come back to your questions in a sec. I just want to circle back to Giselle. She said, you said you were ready and
Yes.
you feel ready, and I can see it when you're saying it that you really, really mean it. How how do you know you're ready? What has led you in your life to this point where you go, you know what, this is probably one of the biggest pageant jobs or jobs in the pageant industry because South Africa is a pageant powerhouse and obviously Miss
Yeah.
SA is as high as it gets. So how do you know? How do you know that you're ready?
It's both logic and a feeling. I feel, like I said, there's a specific moment in time where your heart just speaks to you and it says, now's the time. And when it comes to logic, I just believe that I've prepared so many years for
Mhm,
this moment and I've done it with the intention of applying to this job. So that's, I can't do any more. I can't, you can always prepare a bit more, but I
mm,
can't do anything more than what I've done in my previous years. So that's where I feel I'm ready now. I feel like I have the knowledge, I have the skill sets, I have the experience as well
mhm.
to do a fantastic job and on building the legacy that previous women have built before me. And they have been amazing women. If you look back, it's all the Miss
Oh
South
yeah.
Africas. It's mind blowing what these strong women can accomplish.
Why do you think South Africa has done so well in pageantry? I mean, South Africa, I'm an Australian. For those of you watching who can't tell where this weird accent comes from, I'm not British, okay? Don't put that on me. I'm Australian. But being
Don't put that on
Australian,
me.
obviously, we know about South Africa. You guys are huge on rugby, you're
Oh
huge
yes,
on cricket. So your powerhouses there. You've had some
and
amazing
soccer.
tennis players. I'm a tennis player, soccer tennis player. Federer is part South African. One of
Oh
his
wow,
parents is South African. I can't remember who. I think it might be his mother. But
I didn't
why do you
know.
think South Africa is such a pageant powerhouse?
I think, as you just said, I don't think it's just pageantry. I think South Africans, I might be biased now, but I think South Africans just excel in everything. There's a post that I also posted a very long time ago where South Africa just was getting it world records and World Cups at a stage. It was netball, it was rugby, it was just one after the other, swimming as well. I think South Africans really know how to work. And I think we have a great work ethic and we're positive. I feel like we're such a friendly, beautiful
You're
nation.
positive. You're positive. You're friendly.
Oh, thank you. I hope. Thank you. I think that comes into play, and we're just such a beautiful nation, and I'm very proud to say I'm South African.
I do love the nickname Rainbow Nation.
Yeah.
And remind me one more time, how many official languages are there? Is it 12?
Almost, it's 11 official, not including sign language. Might be 12, including sign language.
This is coming from Australia, where we have a total of one official
But
language, and that's English. Um,
I
okay,
must
let's
say,
go
because
back.
I had, as you know, I have studied tourism, and I was
Mm,
a tour guide for a while as well. So to study all that diversity and all of that in and to fit that into one brain, it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. So to have one is not always the bad thing. I think your tour guides can say that.
And for those of you who don't know, Gizzelle is bilingual. Bilingual, right? Afrikaans, English. Are there any
Mhm.
others coming up, or is it those two?
I'm studying Spanish still. I'm still beginner's level. It's quite difficult learning a new language at my age, but I'm trying.
Oh,
I am.
come on. What do you mean? Oh. ¿Cómo está?
See?
See? See?
Buenos dias.
Okay.
I'm trying.
All right.
¿Cómo está? I
Speaking
think you
like an
say bien.
8-year-old.
I think you say bien
Okay.
after that. Gracias.
Isn't it gracias? The Spanish pronounce it with that unusual. It's not gracias. It's like gracias.
Gracias.
It's like a lift.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm a bit scared to put emphasis on
Do it.
anything because when I was over in Egypt, I was talking to the Spanish speaking girls, and I told them I do want to learn. I love learning, and please speak Spanish, and I'll try and understand.
Mhm.
I'll try and answer. And I can't remember who it was, but they're like, no, don't put so much emphasis. Just speak normally. And I'm like, okay. Well, so I just say gracias.
Okay. All right. Well, they speak Spanish. I don't, so I would take their advice. Let's go back to the questions. And a reminder, guys, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. I'll pass them on to Gizzelle. Divan has asked, what would your advice be for young girls who would want to enter one day?
I firstly say preparation is key, just because it's such a big job. Like I said, Miss South Africa is a job. You need to know that you can handle that sort of job with care and skills and knowledge. But also, as they say, you be authentically yourself. So
Mm.
you enter with knowledge and prep and confidence, but you enter as yourself as well. So that would be my advice.
And that's a journey unto itself as well. We're always sort of discovering who we are. It's a never-ending journey.
Of course,
Now,
we're always
Ashley,
changing.
always changing, always evolving, always growing. Now, Ashley has a question here, and it actually is similar to a question I was going to ask. So I was going to ask what it is you would like to bring specifically to the role of Miss South Africa, or how you would love to represent your nation. And Ashley has asked a similar question, which is what makes you unique? What do you think is that you have that will stand out? So in terms of if you were to win, what personal qualities would you like to bring to the role of Miss SA?
I have a very soft spot and also a passion for the youth. And lately, I've become a little bit more aware of the suicide rates within teens, which is very concerning. I always say that number should be at a 0. No child of a young age should feel the need to just end it because of A, B, and C. And what I really want to do with the Miss South Africa platform is to handle that sort of concern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, straight on. And sorry, I
Is
don't
that
know
a
if you know.
phone? Is that an actual landline phone? You have landline? Wow. Gizzelle is 80 years old. You want to go and pick it up? You want to go answer it? Hello?
I'm sure I'll call back a bit later. See, that's a working lady. I'm an entrepreneur. It feels a little bit more professional to have your landline
I
phone and
understand.
interrupt your interview. I'm so sorry about that. My apologies. It's
That's
done
okay.
now.
But you were talking about the youth in South Africa and the
Yeah.
suicide rate, and how you want to advocate for that if you were lucky enough to win Miss SA.
Of course. I look at other countries and I see that they have a counselor within their schools, that a child could feel free to, doors always open. A child can feel free to just go and, handle their situation individually. and it's taken care of by a professional. And I do think that that is something that South Africa can benefit from, and the youth as well. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group actually has statistics that say, well, these teens feel the way that they do because of things that go on at home, or it's bullying. And another factor is actually social media, which I also want to take part in. And that's where I'm very excited about today. I can finally say this to the world, and I can finally have everybody also take part in it. And I want to start a new movement on social media that's called hashtag Truth Be Told, where I just want to show a little bit more authenticity and just more reality within the cyberspace, because we get so caught up in comparing without us even knowing. And especially for vulnerable eyes, it can be challenging. So I do want to bring a little bit more reality, and what that's just going to entail is posting a picture maybe without a filter, or posting about a bad day, that people can see, well, this is real, this is life, it happens, it's not just me that has a bad day, it's everybody else as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people can bring with that positive aspect.
So what was the hashtag, Gizzelle? Truth be told?
Truth be told.
Okay, amazing. Let me just back up for a sec. So you mentioned authenticity, which in my mind, for a Miss South Africa or for any pageant queen, especially in our industry, authenticity and transparency is huge. And I'd like to think that you certainly have that quality. What other personal qualities do you think a Miss South Africa should have? So we'll say, okay, she has to be authentic. We've already mentioned, okay, she should be hardworking. Just from your perspective, what other personal qualities do you think a Miss South Africa or any pageant queen should have?
I feel that a Miss South Africa is a woman that can take action right after her promise. She's somebody that is the embodiment of hope. She can handle encouraging her community or her nation with so much care and sensitivity. So that woman, she's, like they say, the full package, but it's somebody that is sensitive to somebody else's needs and really does make a difference in the world, whether it's a small step every day to make a bigger impact, or encouraging others to, there's results in numbers as well. So that's how I see Miss South Africa.
Yeah, I think the word that I would describe that as is empathy. Having just basic human empathy for what's going on around them and having that sensitivity. And I think that is hugely important. Okay, let's go back to the question. So Ashley had another question here. Out of everyone you have ever met in your life, that's a lot of people, but out of everyone you have ever met in your life, who had the biggest impact on your life and who do you most look up to?
I see this also the same as who's your role model, and my answer to that always is the same, and it's not one person per se, and it's also not imaginatory, but I create this person that's all the best qualities of everybody in my life. It's my best friend's laughter, it's my mother's nurturing, it's my dad's strength, it's my brother's determination, it's uh, the stranger in the streets' love for life. It's all these things that make this person that I aspire to be, and I strive every single day. And that, so it's all the people in my life that I care about, just in one person that I look up to.
You've amalgamated the best qualities of everyone you care about. That's an interesting way of doing it. I've not heard of that before, but it certainly sounds like a good way.
It works. It really, really does.
Mia has asked, what has been a challenge you've experienced in life and how did you overcome it?
Well, I've had a lot of challenges lately, and just a few weeks ago, I've actually been cyberbullied and harassed and threatened, which was something it wasn't new, but to the
Mm.
certain extent that it took, that was something new. And it's difficult to put into words the steps that I took to overcome it. But firstly, I try to be an example for everybody who follows me, looks at me. So um, that's sort of how I handled it, and it's
Hmm.
to show them how to handle it with care. And especially, I was doing these things with the youth in my mind, saying, if this ever
Yeah.
happens to you, tell somebody, tell a parent, tell a friend,
Mm.
and you speak up, because silence doesn't always mean the answer. And that's the best way to people for people to help you, is to know that there's a problem in your life. And that's a very recent challenge that I had to deal with.
Yeah. Divan has said about the phone call that opportunity is calling Gizzelle. Maybe you should.
Hey,
Maybe I don't know if you have caller ID, but maybe you should phone back if it's indeed
yep,
opportunity.
of course.
I'm
I'll get
I'm
back to
going
that.
to butcher this name. Is it Lika?
Lika, I'm sure. Yeah,
Okay.
you're doing great at these
I
names.
apologize if I've mispronounced the names. But she's asked, do you think it's important to have a social media following when entering a big pageant like this? And why or why not?
For me personally, I I don't believe it's important to have 10,000 followers or a million followers. I've always said, even if I have only 2 followers, if I can impact them in a positive way and they impact somebody else in a positive way, it's a snowball effect. And
Mm,
that's how you're going to change the world in the end. So for me personally, I don't think it's important. But the Miss South Africa organization always also mentioned that it really does not have any effect on their finalists as well. So that's also a good thing. The South Africa organization really makes it a point to look at the person who is entering
mm.
and their platform and what they have to say.
Well, what I can say to that is a lot of people who have big followings, those followings are either not real, they're fake or bought followers. And from the point of view of a pageant where you're looking to impact predominantly, but not exclusively, young women, if someone has 100,000 followers, but 99% of them are young men, then, I think that has to be taken into consideration as well. Now, Ralph here has said, hello, Adrian and Gizzelle. Hello, Ralph, again. It's a nice photo with Marissa you've got there. Lika
Love
has
Marissa.
then asked, what is one thing that people don't know about you?
Whew, I will say, when people, there's a few things that people are very surprised when they hear it.
Okay.
One would be that I have a skipper's license, so I can drive a small vessel on a lake or a dam. uh, I had my advanced driving course as well. So people are quite surprised when I tell them this, and I pitch up with my heels and my makeup and my nails done. I'm a very girly girl, but I can have the best of both worlds as well. I grew up with a very adventurous family, so I have a very adventurous spirit, and blessed to have the opportunities to do a skipper's license and advanced driving. People are quite shocked when they hear that.
I'm shocked about that. What's advanced driving? What does that mean?
They taught me offensive and defensive driving. So the handbrake was pull up, and I have to handle a car that's spinning and
Hang on.
all
Do
this.
you know how to do a handbrake turn?
I do, but I won't advise anybody trying this at home. Please don't. It was in a controlled environment. Please don't do that.
You know what I'm going to make you do in America then, don't you?
Oh, hectic. What driving? What course? Who said anything about
This also, by the way, explains your fascination with wanting to be a pirate, that you have a skipper's license.
Yes.
So, wow. Okay.
Love
That's
pirates.
something that even I didn't know about you. All right. A woman of many, many talents. Oh, I can't wait to see that handbrake turn. I'm excited now.
People also
Gonna have
quite
to make
surprised to hear what I drive as well. It's you know, me, my girly girl. I drive, well, for the people overseas. It's called a pickup truck. Here in South Africa, we call it a bakkie. They're also quite surprised to hear that.
It's massive. It's like you need a step ladder to get into it.
I love it.
Mia has said the one thing about Gizzelle that stands out to me is that she is the exact same person online as in person. She is so real.
Oh, thank you, Mia. Oh, that's my dear friend. She's amazing in every single aspect, and obviously she encourages me as well. Thank you, Mia.
And she's also asked another question. Guys, if you have any more questions, put them in the comments now before I move to the close with Gizzelle. Mia has asked, what are your 5 best qualities? With these questions, I like to say, forget the number because the number can be a bit intimidating, but what are your best qualities?
My best qualities. Whew, I feel the first one, I am an empath. I feel like that could be my greatest strength, but also my biggest weakness as well. I've seen how people handle an empath. I am hardworking. I'm ambitious. That's a really important thing when it comes to entrepreneurship or work in general. And I have a love for life as well. I feel like that comes in handy in many, many aspects of my life. And I feel I'm encouraging to others. I've seen what that can mean in somebody else's life. And I've always said, if somebody can leave my conversation feeling much better than what they came to me and leave with that and encourage somebody else and make somebody else feel good for that day, I've seen the ripple effect that has. And if I can do that, then I'm happy. So I think that's also a really, really good quality to have.
That's a good list. Just before we move towards the close, you mentioned, oh, you know what we should do? We should show people your entry video. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's see if Adrian can work the tech. All right. So here is Gizelle's entry video for Miss South Africa. We'll watch it. It's less than a minute long. And then we will come back to the interviews. So let me just get rid of the comments for a sec. All right. Here we
To rise from the ashes and embrace all that you can be. This is what I aspire the youth of today to achieve. South Africa, I'm the 24-year-old Gizzelle Uys, born and raised in the Mpumalanga province. I have a degree in heritage and cultural tourism and now pride myself as an entrepreneur and small business owner. I believe in giving back to the community, which is why I created my own initiative called Betting on Better that extends a helping hand to those less fortunate. From a girl who once doubted her own existence to a woman ready to serve her country, I stand here today, determined to lead our Rainbow Nation into a more confident tomorrow, and to show all the young boys and girls out there that they are worthy, seen, and more than enough.
You have nice taste in the white jacket. I like that.
Thank you. So, yeah, we didn't plan this. For those who watch, we didn't plan this. Great minds think alike.
Yes, so I don't know why our minds think alike at all, because I don't think either of us have particularly great minds. But anyway, I mean, you do, I'm sure. Me, not so much.
We both have fantastic minds, both of us.
There we go. There we go. All right. You did mention, I did want to ask you, betting on better. You mentioned your initiative. So why don't you tell the lovely people watching at home a little bit more about betting on better?
Betting on Better was an initiative that first started off a little bit more based on environmental problems and environmental awareness, and to teach people a little bit more about repurposing and recycling, to be specific, out of the 7 R's, those two, and just to show that it could be fun. And I still do that to a certain extent. I am very environmentally aware. I love to just create awareness around that. But it grew a little bit more throughout the years to extend a helping hand to the less fortunate in our country. And I have done many, many projects that deal with donation, collection, and also distribution. And I fell in love with just having made a little bit of a difference in somebody else's day. And that's what it's mainly about now. It's about just extending a little bit more hope.
Well, it does sound like a very hopeful name, so I love that. This reminds me of we haven't talked about what is it that you do outside of pageantry, because you don't just do pageantry 24/7. I don't think anyone does. But outside of pageantry, who is Gizzelle Uys? What does she do?
She is quite a go-getter. She's quite busy. I don't get a lot of sleep, so I do love my naps when I can. I am an entrepreneur and I'm a small business owner of Confident Beauty. And I started this, it's a beauty brand, because I want people to express their authentic self and to feel confident in how they express themselves, because that's how I feel about makeup in general. And I have studied, I have a degree, I've obtained my degree in heritage and cultural tourism, the University of Pretoria. Very grateful for what that brought in my life as well. I also did an extra course. I'm a registered tour guide, as I've mentioned. I have dabbled a little bit in the tour guide industry. And that's Gizzelle and her career-wise. I'm also a part-time model, dancer, and actress as well. I've done a few music videos as well that I absolutely love that industry. And other than that, like I said, I have my skipper's license, so I, of course, love my water sports in the summer. Unfortunately, winter is not so kind to us. In South Africa, we do have very cold winters. So you in Australia will know, very cold winters. And that's when I love just cuddling up with a good book. I enjoy self-help books, self-development books. Also a good novel now and again when I'm on holiday, and spending time with family and friends. With COVID, I just again was reminded of how important that is in your life and in yourself as well.
Do you have any makeup tips for me?
You are perfect the way you are. you don't
Come on.
need it.
No, it's like in front of it, and I'm just noticing because in front of the ring light, you get certain like shininess, but for some reason, like there's always a big glow on my forehead. So is there any way, not talking about, mascara and things like that, but is there any way to decrease how shiny you are? You're an actress and you've done music videos, so you must know. How can I be less shiny?
I use a very good, it's called setting powder, so it's not the normal powder that they use for shininess usually on set. So a good setting powder really goes a long way.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get some of that for next time and just put it all over my forehead so I don't have a giant shiny forehead. Because it's also my ring light there is a giant circle, so I have like a giant circle on my forehead. I'm like, come on. All right.
I think it's the shine of awesomeness. You shine your light.
I'd rather it be a halo coming from behind me rather than this one singular circular donut on my forehead. But
the halo took another spot. It's okay.
Yeah. All right. Just before we move to the close, anyone that you would like to give a shout out to? So sponsors, friends, families, go for it. Shout outs.
Well, the two that's been encouraging me this whole time, Divan and Mia, you guys are amazing. Thank you. It's really, I could have not been more blessed with and more amazing friends. And for everybody that's just been following this journey this whole time, I've been overwhelmed actually with love and encouragement. If I appreciate every share, like, comment, DM, story, repost, everything. I really, really appreciate it. And all I can hope is to make you proud, and I will try my best. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I would not be here if it weren't for you. And to my family and other friends, you've been amazing throughout my entire life, and I'm really, really blessed to have you. And I pray every night for you and to say thank you.
And just before we go to the final 10, Divan has asked one more question. Does entering big pageants like Miss SA sometimes scare you? And do you experience stress? And if so, how do you overcome it?
Oh, that's quite a good question. Overall, I wouldn't say I'm scared. Like I said, I do feel ready and I do feel confident when it comes to entering. I would never enter into something or apply for a job when I don't feel that I can absolutely handle it 100% and give my 100%. But it's not to say that I'm not human and I don't feel fear in some sense. It's not fear, but it is stress or anxiety or anything like that at certain moments. And that's human. It's okay. I believe you feel what you need to in the moment and remind yourself why you're here, why you're doing these things. So most of all, for the most part, I'm confident, but for those who have stress, just remind yourself why you're doing this, and that should get you through it.
And Elani here has said, "We love you, Zelly," with a love heart.
Oh, I love you too. Thank you, Lonnie. Beautiful
Okay,
girl.
Gizzelle, let's go through these final 10 questions, which we did do in our first interview, but it's so long ago I can't remember any of the answers at all. So it would be
And
like the first time.
I've probably changed as well. Like I said, we're forever evolving, forever growing, and that's a beautiful thing. So let's see if my
Well,
answers are safe.
I haven't showed you spiders on this interview.
Oh,
So
thank goodness. I think I squealed too much the last time. Oh my
you
goodness.
squealed and looked away, and you couldn't look back at the screen until I took the photo of the spider off.
Well, it was a very big, black, red, vicious one. You also didn't. You didn't choose the cute one. You chose the vicious
No.
one.
Do you want me to find it again, and we can see if you've overcome your fear of spiders? No.
I'm looking. No exposure therapy for me today.
All right. All
I've
right.
tried. I've tried.
I'll let you off the hook. Let's get these final 10 done and dusted. Question the first. What is your favorite word?
Afrikaans word, lekker. Do you remember what lekker means?
You haven't told me.
Really? I haven't explained lekker to you? Oh, okay.
No.
I've taught you 2 words.
I know tacky and I know Joel. I don't know
Taki and
the word
Joel.
that you just said.
You're learning. So lekker is, I think the closest I can get to English would be nice. Or nice, yes.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you can put a no in front and in front of it and after it to mean it's not nice, or yes, it is nice, or like the party last night was nice, or it wasn't nice. So,
Lacquered.
lekker.
Oh, you're rolling the R's. Okay, moving on. I
Very
can't roll my R's.
yep.
Can't do
That's
it.
Afrikaans speaking.
Question. No, can't do it with the Dutch either. Question 2. What is your least favorite word?
Oh, I can't say this word. That's why I don't like it. Brewery. Brewery. I don't like that word. Brewery. Me saying it over and over is not going to help.
I've had
You
people
may
on
laugh.
in the past who've had a certain word they can't say, and what I've noticed, and you just did it right then, is when they try to say the word they can't say, they just can't stop saying it because they keep trying to get it right.
Yep.
Just like you did there. It's like
Yep.
brewery.
It will not defeat
brewery,
me.
brewery, brewery.
Okay.
Okay. Boo.
Ooh, that word, it shall not defeat me. I will get it right one day, someday.
Okay. All right. I won't hold my breath. Question 3. In life, what gets you excited or what turns you on?
Gets me excited is there's so many things. I take the little things out of every day. That's what gets me excited. Oh, my coffee is really good this morning. Oh, the sun is shining so beautifully after a rainy day. It's the little things in life.
That's what turns you on. What about question 4? What turns you off?
Who unnecessarily mean things, mean comments or you sayings, or it's not the people. I try to be understanding. It's maybe not their intention, or so I won't say mean people, but mean intentions or comments.
Question 6. I've lost count. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, I love a baby's laugh. I think that's so contagious, and it's such a beautiful sound. A baby's laugh, or a violin as well, very calming, and it's just such a beautiful sound.
Do you know I play the violin?
You did?
I played it since I was 2.
Oh, and you still play it?
I can. I haven't practiced it for a while, but yeah, I was pretty good, reasonably good.
That's amazing. Well, afterwards, I think after we go live, after the live is done, you're just gonna have to play me 1 or 2 songs. Just stop that for a quick second.
I just cut out Australian internet, but yes, I played the violin since I was 2.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's around here somewhere. The one time I had the strangest experience, magical experience, was playing a violin. I was on the hunt for a new violin, and the violin store just up the road, they would hire out violins so you could try them. And I played on this
Oh,
violin that was over 200 years old, because on the inside they have stickers as to when the instrument was put together, and it was just so surreal playing. You just wonder, like, who else has played on this instrument that's
of
over
course.
200 years old. And I swear to God, I've never sounded so good. It was probably a psychological effect.
Yeah,
It's 200.
no,
It was also, I think, $30,000, but a 200-year-old violin. It's like, oh my God. So I don't have that now,
wow.
but that was something else. But yeah, I play the
I hope
violin.
you took videos and photos and everything to remember that. That's amazing. 200 years. Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, well, there you go. You've learned something about me. I play the violin. I've learned something about you. You can do a handbrake turn. Most people would probably assume if it's a guy and a girl that it's a guy who can do the handbrake turn and the girl who plays the violin. No, we're the other way around. So, okay. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
Ooh, I think a lot of people don't like this. Is the scratching of a chalkboard. I think a lot of people have that. It's an awful
Yeah.
sound. Ugh.
It's that one, and also the sound of, when you're cutting food up on a plate and you scratch the china. It's a sound. And people, it just makes people jump.
You feel it to your toes. That's where you feel it. Yikes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Okay. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
For people's hearts to be changed into kindness. Spread kindness.
So like mind control. You're going to make the people be kind and nice.
Kind of, I think I have this picture of Cinderella's fairy godmother with a bippity boppity boop.
I can see you
That's
as
what I
that.
imagine when I say that. Yeah.
I can see you
It's
skipping
kinda
around
hard.
in your high heels, whacking people with a wand over their head. Yep, I can see
I
that
wouldn't
picture
whack
completely.
them.
Sure you would. Why not? Bang!
I don't think I have the upper body strength for that.
Question 8. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
Ooh. I'm so in love with the industry that I'm in, whether it's entrepreneurship uh, or the beauty industry. I wouldn't want to do anything else other than maybe acting. But if I really, really have to choose something that's completely different to everything that I'm doing, I really like surfing. I think I have told you this. I'm just a bit afraid of sharks, but I'd really want to be surfing. That looks like an amazing connection with nature.
Yeah, especially when the shark takes a chunk out of you. You are very connected to nature.
Uh,
Question.
nature has a piece of you
Question.
somewhere.
Exactly.
thank, thank you for
Question.
encouraging my fear.
Oh,
You in
you
Australia,
brought
you
it up.
should know. I think the
Oh,
Australian animals
I
are 10
love
times bigger.
I love the ocean, but I'm phobic of like I don't like what I can't see. So you know when you go in the ocean and the water can be quite foamy on the top, so you can't
Yep,
see what's beneath. So
indeed.
when you're in the water, then you feel something brush up against your leg. Oh, I can't stand that because sometimes it's seaweed, sometimes it's a plastic bag, but then it could be a stingray or a shark or a jellyfish, and I'm like, I don't like not knowing that. So I
No.
love the ocean and I love the sound of the waves, but I don't want to go in it. It's a weird thing. Otherwise, I
There's
totally
a,
would surf.
of course, and there's a mutual respect then. You respect the ocean, just
I don't know if it's
be
respect.
and
I think it's more fear, or being an Australian. Fear. I think it's more fear.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm getting better
yeah.
at my Australian accent, I think. But yeah,
You are. You are. It would be
yeah.
difficult to get worse given your first attempt, but you are getting better.
Water,
Question 9.
mate.
Question 9. What job would you not like to attempt?
Anything in the medical industry. I'm one of those people who get. I think the English word is queasy.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
Yep. Bodily fluids, whether that's throw up or blood or I've watched a show called Dr. Pimple Popper once.
Oh no, no, yeah, God, just
Whew.
why this? That's everything that's wrong with
People
today's
people
society.
seem to find that satisfying, and I gave it a try. I like to try
It's the
new
same
things, and
crowd that likes ASMR. It's just why.
ooh, ooh. That show didn't last long on my TV from like 2 minutes.
Okay,
Ooh.
okay, makes sense. Well, to each their own. Final question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Okay. I would love for him to say, "Well done, my faithful servant. Welcome, my beautiful bride," as it says in the Bible.
Well, just before we hang up for today, let's go back to the comments. Ralph has said, "Best of luck, Giselle, with the
Thank
Irish
you.
clover."
Thank you.
Now, Lysandra, I don't know how to pronounce that last word. It looks like moist, but I know it's not moist. How do you
It
pronounce
looks
that
like
word?
voice. uh,
Talking about
pain.
words people don't
Yeah.
like. How do you say it?
Pain, I think. I can also be wrong.
No, 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 no,
Can you?
no. What she's written, hello, moisty. Is it?
Oh, moist. Good. That's a very well done job, moister. That's 100% correct.
What does it mean?
It doesn't mean moist. I can tell
I
you
was gonna
that.
say.
It just means like high pretty or high beautiful.
Oh,
It's the same.
I'm going to assume that she was talking to you, not talking to me then. Edward has said, I love pageants. Divan has said, biggest fan. Well done for being an amazing human being. And Mia has said, we love you so much, backing you always. Well, Gizzelle, I think that'll about do it for round 2. Any closing words? Any parting shots? Last words of wisdom before we hang up with the audience?
None other than just spread kindness. You never know who needs it. Love yourself enough to know that you are irreplaceable and worthy and loved. And that's that for me.
Sounds good. Words of wisdom to live by. Well, Gizzelle, thank you so much for your time. Once again, it's been a pleasure. I will keep you on the line whilst I hang up with the audience. Thanks to everyone for watching, whether it's live or on the replay. And we will speak to you next time. Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Sorority Access is now open. So if you'd like to join an amazing group of women and learn how to be the most powerful, confident, and impactful queen possible, head to thepageantsorority.com. I'll see you there and see you in the next video.